Well, here we are. Wendy Williams has announced that she hasn't officially announced it, but it has been announced that Wendy Williams is getting a divorce. Okay. This is the talk. Wendy has been the talk for since last year. The Daily Mail did an expose, had been researching and following Wendy around for a year. And they did an expose. They showcased that Wendy, that her, I'll have to keep saying allegedly, Wendy's husband, Kelvin Hunter, purchased a home for a family friend, quote unquote, named Sharina Hudson. So this is one of the first things that we started seeing publicly. Now, there has been rumors about her husband not being faithful for a very long time. So according to the Daily Mail, Kelvin allegedly has been in a relationship with this Sharina person for the last 10 years. So a lot of talk was going around, like, why would Wendy allow for this type of behavior from her husband, if this is true? It doesn't make any sense. It's, goes against a lot of the things that she normally says when it comes to giving her opinion about other people's marriages and divorce and things of that, infidelity and all that kind of stuff. So you wonder, like, what's going on with this? So we had that going on. Then after that, Wendy began to act very differently. We started noticing her behavior was a little strange. And we were thinking that it was because we, the public, were thinking, okay, this Daily Mail article came out and I think that it's really bothering Wendy, that things about their marriage is now coming out to the public. Many people believe that Wendy was fully aware of this affair. Okay, but as long as, I guess it was the whole out of sight, out of mind type situation, well, now it's insight and now it comes into mind, and I think it was embarrassing. And it started to play a role in the downside of her health. Wendy has a thyroid issue, and she also announced that she has Graves' disease. So when the story came out, Wendy went on her show and was like, everything's great, all is good in Hunterville, and whatever. And so that's just that. So we move right along, and the next thing we know, what came out next? Wendy began to really show signs of illness. She actually passed out on stage, literally passed out. And the rumor mill was saying, oh, she's back on drugs. Cause Wendy has, made it public a long time ago that she is a former cocaine addict. She used to, do this back in the day. So she got sick. I thought she had a stroke, literally, cause that's the way it looked at first. Thought she had a stroke. Apparently she didn't. She went to the hospital, got checked out, and she comes on the show and says, well, her meds had needed to be recalibrated. That was the story. Slowly but surely, we start seeing Wendy unable to stand up on her own. She had to have a prop. She was in a chair most of the time. Even when she was doing her Ask Wendy segment, she would have to stand against something. It was like she was unable to walk on her own. She stopped wearing heels. She was wearing flats all the time or gym shoes. And it got to the point where she couldn't remember things. She was stuttering a lot and messing up her stories quite a bit. And we're like, what is really going on with Wendy? Her health is failing, and it's something isn't right. I don't know. And we're starting to think that it's the stress of the marriage. Soon thereafter, we find out that Sharina Hudson is pregnant. And to me, that did contribute to some of the things that we saw as far as Wendy is concerned. Find out that Sharina Hudson is pregnant. And I think that was it for Wendy. So in December, Wendy does an interview with The Lock. And it was the most cringeworthy interview that I've ever seen. Wendy couldn't hardly follow the teleprompter. She struggled. It was a struggle during that interview. It was horrible. So then Wendy went off the air for about a couple of months. Okay, there was a list of individuals coming in, hosting the show, co-hosting the show for her. Nick Cannon was there for a while, Sherry Shepherd, Don Lemon. I mean, she had a lot of different people come in and help out while she was away recuperating. Come to find out, she was in Florida at a rehab facility. Again, recuperating. So we're finding out now that she's not saying anything, but we believe now that, she has relapsed. And again, thinking that the issues of her marriage were causing her to have health problems. There was even an incident where she was wearing a sling at one point in time, and a lot of people were saying that her husband did that. Wendy never expounded on that, never said anything about that. So, that's still up in the air as far as speculation is concerned. So when Wendy does come back, she makes it known that, yeah, I know the streets have been talking. I know what you guys have been saying. I'm doing great. Again, everything's great in Hunterville. She shows an old school picture of her and Kelvin from when I guess they were dating. And she was like, this is who I fell in love with and all this great stuff. Well, the very next day, when she did that, the very next day, a picture arrives with Kelvin and Sharina on the beach, and Sharina, holding up, showing her hand or whatever. And it's like, wait a minute. And I really believe that Sharina's the one that had that picture to surface, whether she directly uploaded or had someone else do it, but it was all Sharina's doing. Letting Wendy know, oh, this is not great in Hunterville. Okay. So we got that going. And then Wendy takes a hiatus for like a week. Now, the show actually does go on a spring hiatus, a 1 week hiatus. So I don't think it was just a matter of Wendy needing a break. I think it was also a matter of the show. This is just the timing of the show is that they go on break for a week. Okay. Well, Wendy comes back. Well, before Wendy comes back, it gets announced that Wendy is filed for divorce in New Jersey for irreconcilable differences. Wendy comes back. She doesn't say anything right away. Then she throws these little hints out. And this is where we are today. She talks about she's at a point in her life she no longer changes diapers. She flirts and says, gets really flirty about Cardi B's security guard. She says that she's going to be moving out of the sober house really soon. And that, because I forgot to mention, Mindy had also said a few weeks ago that she was in a sober house. And so, she, wanted to come clean about that she's been staying in the sober house. So now she's getting ready to leave the sober house, and she reiterates that she's looking out for herself and her son. Her son is, I think, 20 in college right now, but that's the two people that she's most concerned about. Mentions nothing about her husband, not one thing. And, she assures the audience about being open and transparent and all that kind of stuff. But, like I said, she throws out these different hints about taking on a new lease on life. So that's all we got, really, as far as Wendy's, what she's been saying. She's letting it be known that, she's been throwing hints, but she's not saying a whole lot. And at this point, she really cannot say a lot. She's going through a divorce. So legally, she's got to keep it real cool right now, because this is going to be a very tough battle. I don't think that Kelvin is going to make this very easy. They are heavily intertwined business-wise. So he is her manager. He is an executive producer at the Wendy show. And I don't know what other business ventures they have together, but from my understanding, they're very closely connected. And I think Wendy has been working on figuring out how to sever that connection. Most people are saying they don't think Kelvin deserves a dime. I am in agreement with that as well. However, I think that, he is going to be awarded something. Probably not nearly as much as he would like, because he doesn't even want the divorce. So this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a long road for Wendy, but I think she's prepared for it. And I wish her the best of luck. That's all I got for now. Talk to you later.